but it is actually faux, but has also all the benefits of this stretch to the under part of the arm. Maybe we'll talk about that again in a little bit. If you own it, I'd love to hear from you. Here are the Wendy Williams, I love her, essential knit leggings. So if you've seen Wendy Williams here, or you watched her incredible talk show, you know she's very interested in style, but she's also super invested in comfort. Here's the cotton that has the stretch to it. So it's that perfect combination of 96% cotton, 5% spandex. So that's what I call the pajama game, because they could be that kind of comfort you would want from PJs. They are available for you in the blue. Here's the heather gray, and it's a lighter heather gray. It'll go with all your charcoals. Here's the white. Okay, I'm gonna talk to you about the white in a second. And then here's your classic black for under $16. The waistband is smooth. It's a wider elastic. So it's not one of those teeny tiny little baby elastics that dig in. It's a smoothing width on that elastic. So it's bright white. I'm gonna pop it back here. The reason why I wanted to mention the white is because finding good white leggings is almost impossible. I don't know why. Well, actually I do. It's because it's hard to get them thick enough so that you feel confident, and so the manufacturer feels confident that you're gonna like them. And Wendy has done a really beautiful job with this. She's obviously very tuned into making sure you're super happy, and the white is hard to find. And that gives you the possibility of wearing it lots of different ways and in different seasons. Extra small through XL, 1X through 3X. And now the inseam, when it comes to leggings, 27.5 inches is a fantastic leg length. Don't even worry about that, because if you're shorter, it'll come to your ankle. If you're taller, it'll come up a little bit higher like a clam digger. A lot of you are gonna be wearing this the way we're showing to you with your boots, but also during the summer, it's nice to have a mainly cotton legging, and especially in the turquoise, the white, and that soft heather gray. Really hard to come by. You know that though, if you've ever looked for white leggings. And the other thing is, if you're ever worried about show through, you know this as well as I do, just wear a longer tunic, a longer top on it. Mainly cotton. So I know we do sell a lot of leggings here at HSN, and they all have their own charm, their own special reason. But for this pair, the main content being cotton does change it up quite a bit from most of the leggings that we have, because most of those have more of a, almost a sport feel to them. These are what I call that PJ kind of softness. So as you can see, there's still lots and lots of stretch. So imagine your favorite t-shirt in a pair of leggings with that perfect width in the elastic, which is right here, right there. It's not gonna dig in. It's actually gonna do a really nice job smoothing you. We have a vest coming up in a little bit from Marla Wynn that is white. It's another bright white. And so if you wanna do something long with your legging, I really think that would be so pretty, and giving you that all white with a pop of color underneath. The jacket that you're looking at right there, that is from Iris Apfel, and that is also at its lowest price ever, coming in at $79. These leggings are $15.95. And note, the flex pay, under $5.50. Turquoise, white, heather gray, soft heather gray, and the black. Black's most popular. So when I finally found my favorite leggings, this was a while ago before Wendy made these, and so these are some of my new favorites now. I indulged myself and I bought 4 pairs because I figured, okay, I'm gonna do laundry a couple times a week. I'm probably gonna wear these every day when I come home or running errands. So when you find a pair that you love, that loves you back, and then you can get them on sale, I would definitely recommend stocking up like I did. It really has come in handy to have so many of my favorite leggings. Like I have multiple pairs of my favorite DG jeans. I have multiple pairs of my favorite leggings, and you do laundry, right, obviously, but in case you missed a load, you still get to wear your favorite pants. So I highly recommend these. And you know, for $29.90, they were fantastic, but here at HSN right now with all of those flex payments, and once you spend $75, you're gonna have free shipping and handling. That's on everything clearance. So if it says clearance price, that's what we mean, and that will give you that activation once you hit $75 of the free shipping and handling. Have you ever been in a pair of yoga pants and you started to get really hot just because there wasn't enough cotton, or it wasn't even any cotton in sight? This is the softness of your favorite t-shirt. This, I think, would be great if she brought these in pajamas and loungewear and robes and long sleep tees. I'll have to talk to someone about that and hope for the best there. But it's got the stretch and it has the cotton. How much cotton? Not 50, not 60, not even 70. It's 96% cotton for $15.95. And the rest of it is the spandex and then certainly that nice elastic at the waist. Black, and the blue is a turquoise, heather gray, which is a very light heather gray, or the white. So my sister, one of them lives up north, the other one lives in Singapore as an expat. They're moving back here to the States. I'm so excited, they're so excited. And we went out to dinner, and my sister wore this fabulous black and white tunic thing that looked like maybe Iris Apfel had designed it for her or something. It was this fabulous topper. And then she wore white leggings. I was like, oh my gosh, I want white leggings now because she wore something that was super chic, but she chose not to wear black with her black and white. She went for the white. And it just gave it such a nice, fresh way of wearing something that was already great, but made it even more special. So if you haven't put on your white leggings yet, because you didn't find them, they weren't there in your size, or the opacity wasn't right for you, you just felt like there was too much see-through, it's so good to have these for you. Turquoise time. So in the turquoise, here's your chance to wear maybe some of those lighter summertime tops that you feel like, oh, well, I put on blue jeans with this top. It's 90 degrees out. It will be 90 degrees again. I know it's winter right now, obviously. This gives you an alternative to wearing a heavier pair of denim jeans during those hotter months. I've just gotten an update from Paul. The white, there are 150 left. Oh, I'm so glad you're liking those. And then the blue will go next. It makes sense. They're different, they're quality. If you've shopped for anything from Wendy Williams, you know the quality is there, and you know that her, not just our quality assurance, but her exacting eye for detail, style, and fit is included in every single one of those pairs of leggings, and actually everything that she does. A quick mention of